We are live. And we are indeed live. Hello, everyone. Pleasant good night to you. If I trust everybody's good. Everybody good? Let me just wait for some other people to say hello, and let me just say hello as well. And yeah, good night, Sharon. Night to you, darling. Welcome. How are you? It is that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, night Sonia, night Arlene, and Edward and Leroy, and all of you. Good night, everybody. Let us see if we can this I should tell you very honestly, quite frankly, that this live was planned for today. It was planned. It's not any circumstances that come up that let me decide to do the live. It was a planned live. It was planned to deal with a whole host of things, actually, some of which I hope I still will be able to deal with. Greetings to you all, Marcia. Greetings to you, my sister. Happy New Year to all of you. I mean, it's not New Year anymore, as one of my brethren pointed out to me this morning, but it is still New Year. Happy New Year to you all. So yeah, the live was scheduled to deal with a whole host of things. All of it, of course, has to do with the risers and the tourist, Mark, the British tourist man that leads the PNP, and the IC, and all the whole of things surrounding all of that, and some other little negative things that comes up that does not warrant a response in terms of a really. I'm happy to see you too, my darling. Happy to see you all. We can talk about it. Happy to see the thing all the while. I hope you all brought yourself a drink, because I think we're going to need it tonight. Anything, just bring something to drink and drink. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back. I'm good, and I'm healthy, and I am happy, and yeah, it's good. It's good. So yeah, live was scheduled to deal with a whole heap of things. And so we're going to see if we can cover some of that tonight. But I mean, where else to start? But of course, with Mr. Silvera himself and his antics. And I mean, we're looking forward to doing a live on this when it comes up. And it comes up now. So we have to do the live. And that is what you say. You want to see me more often? I wonder why. I am on live. What me doing? What me doing now? Well, whatever. Not important. Okay. So, good night to you too, my darling. It's just one of them kids. It's always the boys, annoying. So yeah, we intended to come here and deal with matters that need to be dealt with. But then again, it broke yesterday that Mr. Silvera, Mark Golding's chief of security, the umbrella man, close compadre to Peter Murcutt, very, very close compadre to Leighton Epstein, and I suspect that some of the things that was being rolled around on social media last week, that included lots of pictures of me looking fabulous. Oh Jesus, don't call it this time, man. Don't do that. Don't call it this time. Call it a phone. All of that has got me believing and thinking, and I should have turned down the phone, it got me believing and thinking. I don't think it's late to turn on the phone. I'm not going to do that. It got me believing that part of the antics that was being paraded on social media last week largely has to do with this upcoming news. I mean, I couldn't figure it out this late stage of the game that all of that was coming. So I said to them girls, it's something, man. It must be something. And it's not just this. There are other things that I think bothering them. And they feel that the best way to deal with those things is to first attack. Not usually a good strategy in war. Especially if you don't have your whole thing lined up properly in terms of what you're going to do and say. So let us recap, because the only way we can move forward is to recap. We can't just jump into Silvera's plea unless we recap. So let us just go back a little bit and put this into a little bit of perspective. We're not here to beat up the DPP. We're not here to beat up the Chief Justice. We're certainly not here to do all of that. I don't know if we're here to beat up the lawyers hired by and paid by Peter Bunting to get a better deal for Silvera. That's what people call him. So I don't know if we are here to, not beat them up. Not a part of the plan, but the plan can change in the middle of the whole thing. So let's back it up a bit. The night that Melissa Silvera was brutally murdered, the world, Jamaica, social media, mainstream media, every single person learned that Melissa Silvera died from one person. One person announced it to the world. And that person is Mark Jefferson Golding, the British tourist who is leading the People's National Party under the guise of being president and BNB. He was the one who announced it. Melissa Silvera died peacefully in her sleep, and shortly following that, all of his backup people them came out with all kinds of things. Peacefully in her sleep, aneurysm, all kinds of whirling things going on as to how Melissa was died. But let's keep in mind one thing, which I think is what is bothering them the most. Why them acting this chaotic and like soldiers who never get no training. Them are not soldiers and they never get no training. Says two things. Mark Golding announced that. He did. He took it down afterwards. Somebody can't find it now. But he did. Condolences to his chief of security. He never used those words, just me put that in. The Silvera family. Melissa passed away in her sleep peacefully. And then all the other little things that come out about aneurysm and all kind of conjecture and thing. I came out here a couple of days later, I believe, and I said, them need to look at Silvera. Not Nagosa. Them need to check him out. If Melissa Silvera died, him have something to do with it. Why did I come up with that? I made a case the night when I came out. I said that this is a man who beat his wife the day before them wedding. Beat Melissa the day before the wedding. And I'm sorry, the prosecutor can't call me to ask me those things because I wasn't there. But this is information I got. I loved Leslie, Melissa's mother. Leslie was a good woman. Very, very good woman. But she failed her daughter because she allowed her daughter to marry this man who was beating her before they were married. Beat her to a pulp. beat her. I mean, me not talk about box down and push down, I talk about beat down, kick down. So I said it. Let me to look into him. Something right about that. Anything do I have something to do with it. I said it. A couple months after, we discovered that enough noise was made for people like PJ Patterson, who was Melissa's godfather, to ask for some other things, and interventions were made, and we discovered that Melissa was killed by gunshots. 4 of them. And then after the funeral, the police arrested Silvera. We knew it was him from the beginning. Now yesterday, them announced, him lawyers announced, and it's his lawyers, because this could not be the DPP, because it would have been an official statement from the DPP, and it was not. So no more than the lawyers, them, the ones that gather together, abnabbing as to how to help him, so that people, to save people. I will get into that as to why them losing their mind now about putting up our pictures and going on with all kind of things. Because I figure it out. And I figure that putting that out will save face and prevent some people from doing it. I said it on the war room 2 weeks ago, when we never know when this was coming, whether it was coming up or whenever it was, so earlier when. That the case itself, in terms of witnesses and people to question and people to be called in for questioning, to go on the witness stand, and I said the very first person should be Mark Jefferson Golden. Now that is not me being malicious or wicked or against or hate Mark. I don't hate Mark. I really don't hate no one. Don't hate him at all. I never hate Dayton Campbell. But this is what I said. That all of these people should be on the witness list. And the first person that witnesses should be Mark Golden. Why I said that? Because he was the first person who announced Melissa's death. And behaving like a police or a surgeon or a I don't know what, he announced not only that she died, but she died peacefully in her sleep. So I never just said she died, but he was telling us how she died. So it goes without saying, if you watch enough Matlock and enough Law and Order and enough Hawaii 5-0 and enough of all of that, it goes without saying that he was the first person we want to talk to ask some questions. How did you come up with this idea? Who told you that Melissa died peacefully in her sleep? Why did they put that out? Who gave you that information? Why did you take it down afterwards? It's a simple thing. It's not malicious. It's a simple thing if you're going to solve a case. Columbo had for those of us who used to watch Columbo in a trench coat that that trench coat didn't want to wash. Must look stink some of the time. It did look stink some of the time. But you might remember that Columbo, his favorite thing to do in terms of solving a murder is piecing it together. And Columbo always have this thing where piecing it together starts with the first set of people that spoke or knew. That's where Columbo always pieces is murder from. Unlike Matlock, who tends to go all the way down to the nitty-gritty before he comes back to the central argument of the death and the suspicions, because all you need to determine to get a suspect is opportunity and motive. Somebody who have a motive, and if you somebody who have the motive have the opportunity. So if you kill the person for money, what the motive was, and did you have the opportunity to do it? And Matlock tends to go around that and then come back around with lots of surprises, of course, and all of that with Matlock. Permius was a little bit more cutting edge, because he was such a serious guy, and he was more of an academic, you know. It's not like Matt, like him from him look a full blue suit, but kept in him dark suit. So him look serious, like a prosecutor. So him approach it in kind of a dignified and cutting way, you know. It cut deep with Perry Mason. But no matter how far we go with Perry Mason, Colombo, or Matlock, it boils down to you report it. The person who called 911 is always the first person in those movies. 911, what happened? What you hear? And what did you do? You call now, where did you call 911 from? Your phone, let me see it. That where? Mark was the first person to announce. I'm the first person called 911. He was the first person. And I said that. Maintain that. Now, all of that leads me to believe that this plea by Silvera, or his lawyers on behalf of him, is trying to get something done before it reaches a stage where people have to answer questions. People might still have to answer questions in spite of the manslaughter charge. Remember manslaughter, let me remind you what manslaughter is. Manslaughter is saying that, yeah, me do it. But when me do it, one of my eye did hurt me and it shot. And me have the gun and play with it and me fire it. Or when me do it, me did hurt me, I walk under the house and me just decide to do it. Manslaughter could suggest I did it for spite. Me never meant to do it. And the case against the judge or the prosecution agreed with this manslaughter thing is a simple one. It was a premeditated. And if there was another word before premeditated, or it was a premeditated, wicked and vicious murder of the mother of his children. He researched it. The gun that he had, the bullets that he used, the hollow point bullets that are banned from using in warfare around the world. But yes, people with private collectors, private gun owners does use the hollow point bullet, and there's another one, a soft bullet or a flat bullet or a drum, some kind of bullet, them have them funny name, but they are deadly. They are deadly bullets because they tend to destroy whatever them hit. And I explained that to you already, 2 years ago about that, I think. He researched it, walked around with the paper in his pocket on the research that he did and how effective it would be and where he could shoot her from. Now, I am almost certain that the prosecution have something regarding that research. There's no way they couldn't, because if I get the information, then they must get it too, and probably even get better more than me about what the research that he was doing. And planned it, orchestrated it, roping him leader in his plan. The leader might be dim-witted and might have not known that he was being roped in because he's a dim-wit leader who not really is a leader. Not really. But him plan it. Silvera plan it and roping him leader by saying, okay, I first make a call because he's an idiot. And make him go, they will put it out. Yeah, that's the way it should be. Yeah, man, must get up with it. Because him a go, they will put it out. That's what he did. So he planned it. Now I'm not going to go through a whole heap of constitutional thing, but I want to read this to you. I want you to understand what exactly is the plea deal. No, there's no plea deal. That's the first thing you must know. There's no plea deal. None at all. A plea deal is between the prosecution and the defense. The defense would come to the prosecution and they would say to the prosecutor, boy, madam prosecutor, we want you to move it from murder to manslaughter. And in that plea deal, it's called a plea deal. because it's a quid pro quo. It's me allowing you as a prosecutor, if you watch Law and Order, okay, you want to plead to manslaughter, what you got? Imagine Benson sitting down in front of him and say, all right, tell me what you're going to give me for that. What are you going to tell me for me to give you that manslaughter thing and not the murder thing, which is going to put you away for life? But the manslaughter thing, which gives you 20 years and you couldn't be paroled in 7 or 8 years if you behave yourself or something happens to that effect. What are you going to give me? So a plea deal is a quid pro quo. It's me telling you, all right, I'm going to make you plead the manslaughter. I'm going to tell the judge, so we agree, and then you're going to tell me where the mattress there. Are you going to tell me who did up there? Are you going to tell me who transport mattress? You're going to tell me who paint out the room. You're going to tell me who did up there, pack up and back up. You're going to tell me every damn thing. That's a plea deal. That is what a plea deal would look like. You're going to tell me some stuff. Come on, want some answers to some questions. And then I would say, all right, then we'll take the deal, because we have some things now to put it together, and we'll tell the judge that this is what we know to be true. Him shoot her 4 times in her vagina. And George, let me pause here. I don't know who playing you, George, but I'm playing you. Whoever gave you that information and tell about is one bullet and it wasn't shot in her vagina. No, George, I'm sorry, go. You must believe me, George. Don't believe them. Believe me. Believe me, George. Don't believe them. Because they're never telling the truth. It's not the truth. You see? The whole idea of saying that she wasn't shot, the shot that wasn't, through her vagina. That, please share the live. I'm going to share the live now, because I don't need to get people on the live. So share it, like it, pass it on, make other people see it. That whole mental thing in your head that him actually shoot her in her vagina, that is devastating in its own way. Because that's what people said, Jesus Christ, what a wicked man. The same vajayjay that him used to produce him children, that the children came through. So that picture in ordinary people's head is it's very bothersome to them. So they want to change it. So I'm telling people that is in her abdomen. Abdomen, vagina, same thing. No matter what you want to do about it, that are the same thing. And it's 4 gunshots she got. We can't change that. No, we can't change. You can't change that, Mr. Champagne. But no, say Bunting and you meet up, and Bunting is your boss because he might pay the money for Silvera, so that the whole of the name don't get called up in a court, and Mark don't get called to the stand for questioning, and Dr. Dawes and Leighton Epstein don't get called to find out if it's them. Which one of them was it that sign off on this death certificate thing. So I know that. So that's why I go out and fed George that information about 1 gunshot. The hollow point bullet is a bullet that once it reaches soft tissue, it opens up, it splinters up, it can disappear in the flesh, it can disappear in the bone. If they find a bullet, which I say they have, I'm not doubting that really, but if they find a bullet, and yes, they will have to find some level of bullet in order to match it up with a gun, because I also told you that it matched long before them say so. That it matched. A film gun, and the bullet came from his gun, and no matter where him do, he go St. Thomas and wherever him go buy a new thing and scrape off the gun. It was an elaborate thing. The fact that they took him to the gun court and started to deal with that charge first. That's how them do things now. The gun related to the crime, to the major crime, so them started by all of that. So the prosecutor, Mrs. DPP, have to look as to whether this manslaughter thing is real or imagined. A manslaughter thing could be presented to the public, because make no mistake, this is not something that you're not just presenting to no one in court, Madam Prosecutor and Mr. Champagne. Don't I think it's some private matter throughout the whole out in a court trying to figure out to save him life to give him no more than 10 years in jail after he killed the people in picnic. Don't bad things like that. There is a public interest in the matter, and the public interest is paramount in this matter, because hell going to break loose on the streets of Kingston in the vicinity of the Supreme Court and gun court and all the way down there. Should one get it wrong, the public interest must be taken into consideration and must be high up there on the list. High on the list. The man burned up the people in picnic. And how much years them give for burning up the people in picnic? 14 years. These things are injustice. Set the people in picnic on fire. I'm going to give him 14 years. Maybe that is what the law allows, and the judges want to stay within the confine of the law. But I'm not buying it about judges want to stay in confine of what the law allows. The law allows for me to have representation in court. And if I don't have any, I must ask the judge to give me time. The law says 3 days. I must ask the judge for those 3 days to go find representative. That right was denied to me. So the judge can't that you give 14 years because that is what the law allows. Because if you take away my right to have representation, why the hell you want uphold his who light a woman on fire? Uno judge don't, many of the judges don't have proper training, you know. Uno just move from lawyer and start to some little thing and uno just become judge. And suddenly believe that uno have people's lives in uno hand and uno not using it wisely. Not at all. So there, with that. Now, Silvera has the right to ask for that manslaughter charge. Section 3 of the Constitution said that he has the right to change his plea to guilty, and he can do it without entering into an agreement with the prosecution. And it appears that he does not have an agreement with the prosecution, because as I said, if he did, he would have to give up something. The prosecution would have to demand something of him. I give you that manslaughter thing, I will back it up, I will tell the judge that I support it, but I want to know some things. Where is the mattress? Who did up there clean up? Who paint up? Who come? Dress our clothes? Where was looking with the blood in all of this? Why did you call Mark Golding first? What did you say to him? Things like that. As a prosecutor, if I was a prosecutor, more I know them things, you know? It was not the DPP who informed the court of his change in plea. Not the DPP. And as you all watch Matlock and Law and Order something again, it is always the prosecutor who comes to the court and say, Your Honor, Mr. Silvera has requested a change of plea and the prosecution is in agreement. But this was not the DPP thing. This was his lawyer's thing. The DPP did not do it, which suggests that they don't have a plea deal. It's just something man him lawyer them cook up with bunting them because them don't want him to it to go to trial. And yeah, him pleading guilty to manslaughter. Manslaughter does not necessarily mean that them just meet in the court and the judge just sentence it. No. And I saw that no. Not at all. They will have to present a number of things, and I do believe I wrote down those things. Let me just say I can't find them. And if I can't find them, but let me go check if we can find those things that them have to present. That has to be done before the manslaughter thing. Sentencing could happen immediately, but clearly it did not. But it could only happen immediately if there was an agreement between the two parties, the prosecution and the defense. In this case, it did not. So there's no sentencing set yet. I was telling you that manslaughter does not necessarily mean that there will not be an outlining of the evidence. The defense will present circumstantial evidence, mitigating circumstances that they would want to present to suggest that this was manslaughter. And the prosecution, of course, will outline the facts of the case. And then the prosecutor would have to have a responsibility to not only outline the facts of the case, but the impact of the case on the victim, and the victim dead, so by extension the victim's family, the victim's children, and by extension the society, the wider society who have a stake in this. This manslaughter thing is looking to give him probably about 20 years, and then maybe within 8-9 years, with proper good behavior, him out of prison, and Melissa would have died from 4 gunshots to her vagina from a wicked man who planned, premeditated it, and executed it, and roping other people in it with him, and they, because him and them compadre willingly walked into that spider web of that. And in making that plea, the judge will then have to probably do an adjournment, postpone the sentencing to obtain pre-sentencing reports, because the manslaughter plea is something that would suggest that it was a mistake, maybe that hurt me, I lost my mind for a few 5 minutes, so they would probably want medical report, psychiatric report, evaluation of him, and stuff like that. People to go speak on his behalf. I can't wait to see who those people are who will go and speak on his behalf to say that he was a good man and he's a decent guy and he's a family man. We will want to know who those people are, really. So people would give assessment on his background. People would give assessment on what risk he would be to the country should they grant him this manslaughter thing, and by extension would be letting him out into society in just a few years after that. So it does not automatically means that the case goes away. There will be opportunity for the prosecution to present their evidence and outline it, which is why it boggles my mind that they announced it and the prosecution and then never have a discussion about it. Because Madam Prosecutor, oh by the way, Madam Prosecutor, we're looking at pictures for you. And every picture we found for you, you were laughing and gritting your teeth. That's a good thing. But you're the prosecutor, you need a poker face picture. So I want you to sit down and take some serious poker face picture. So you can look serious. You know? So it doesn't mean that. You know? What it means essentially, however, is that him get an opportunity to sell a different story from what really happened. I didn't kill her. My mind did lose my mind for a minute there, or you know, me did stumble, me head lick, me and her did a quarrel, and me just lost my cool and things like that. They give him an opportunity to go present all him lawyer and present all kind of argument as to why they should take him on this manslaughter charge and not send him up the river for the rest of his life. That's what it boils down to. The prosecution represents the Jamaican people. The director of public prosecution doesn't represent government. She represents us. She's going to try that case within the confines of the law, stretch it to the limit, and also provide comfort to the public. We don't want that man running around. We want to let him off with a 10-year or 20-year something, and him out in 10 or 8 years. Him look a boy who would be a big boy by then. Look at him one day and say, you kill my mommy, and just back out something and kill him too? What's wrong with you? Madam Prosecutor. The public's interest must be taken and given high priority in this. You can't allow Peter Bunting and Mark Golding and them high-powered lawyers who trying to make sure that Mark don't get caught up in this thing and that Peter Bunting's wife don't get caught up because the water been up there. The water been up there. And the public wants a trial. Why you the one of them I say? How can Melissa's spirit and Melissa's children find any peace of mind if we don't just slap, bam, boom? All right, manslaughter, don't pay 20 years. 10 years him out of jail. That not going to put it to rest. The public is going to be distrustful of all of this. And Mr. Chief Justice, I love the Chief Justice, I do. I like him very much. Don't do me nothing, but I like him. You have the power, sir, to make sure that some journalists are in the court. Them things that must happen without journalists in the court. Because if journalists were in the court yesterday, they wouldn't be able to sell judge that kind of allegation with them sell judge. We need journalists in the court, Mr. Chief Justice. You can make that decision. You don't want a whole host of people, but you can say, all right, you from the Gleaner, because you don't want to leave matter on tight because, you know, you don't want to leave matter on tight. You could say, all right, I want 2 printed media and 2, you know, radio and television and 1 television and stuff. But you, Mr. Chief Justice, must provide some level of coverage that the public can be satisfied about. Our thirst for justice is not misplaced. It is right there where it is supposed to be. It is placed in the right, proper place. We are putting our trust in a system that has the overwhelming evidence against a man who murdered his wife. You can't go around that. He murdered, cold-bloodedly murdered his wife. And if you do your investigations, I'm sure you could find people who tell you that him just box around and kick around in front of the pit of them. I'm sure you'd find people who tell you that him just push her against the washing machine in front of the pit of them. A lot of things that's to be taken into consideration as to what led up to this brutal murder of this young woman. Not a manslaughter charge. Because manslaughter charge means that you're going to lie. Or you're going to get people to lie. Say that he must have problems. Maybe Mark Golding go write something and tell them, say, pardon me, that during one of their outings, he wasn't feeling well and couldn't manage the umbrella. Or one time when he was chief of security and he had him there on the road, some people get past him, he never get to do his job properly, because maybe he wasn't feeling well. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying that all of this is a cook-up. The British would say a cock-up. That's all it is. To prevent certain people from being in the line of fire. It is time that this country, through its judicial system, the imbalanced judicial system that seeks to protect the rich and the famous and the well-connected and the big tapenaries and designed to beat down those who are not in that grouping. It is time for that system to step up and for once do an equal thing with this guy. Because when will they, Mr. Chief Justice, you and the DPP would be there one side thinking that you're doing all kind of things and Bunting there and Machiavelli the whole out, you know. You don't know when I deal with it, you know. Bunting is in charge of this thing and him pay the lawyer. And if you're not careful, Machiavelli the whole out, you know. And by the time you look all kind of things happening that just get out of your hand. So pay attention. and keep the public's concerns foremost in your thoughts as to how you approach this thing and this wicked, dreadful brother. Him kill him wife, call him leader put out in blogosphere for the world to see. Condolences to my chief of security. Him never said that. Let me just put it apart. Melissa died peacefully in her sleep. I don't know what to talk to him. How is that possible? How is that even possible? That the first person to report the crime be not asked to come explain to us, the prosecutor. What happened that night? Where were you? What were you doing? What time did you get the call? And you put that out. Who told you that? He did. Okay. Why did you take it down? Questions need to be asked. Answers need to come forth. But them want to prevent that. And that's why them was going after us the other day. I hope them continue. Because I got more. I will not will let up. And there is my take that. And the whole issue of this manslaughter thing. Mr. Champion fancies himself to be a slick lawyer, which he probably is. And him don't care about the public interest as long as him win and get paid. And whatever he does, he's been instructed by the lawyers, the real lawyers who are the people who pay him to say what and do what to help them body. So that, him can do spend a long, long time in a prison. It is the prosecutor and the judge who now have to fix that and make sure that we're good on that. And I hope that everybody understand that that is the situation. Michelle, if you need to say something to me, you have to text me on the other phone. All right, so basically, Mark Jolyan saw that this coming up, and for the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, he's been doing this dance of being concerned about pretty much everything, because this will come up and he needs some distractions. And he forgot that when it comes to carrying Cecilia Cross, I'm on a mission. I'm not distracted. Everybody else get distracted except me. Throughout this whole thing, you lecture, everybody gone on something else every now and then. I'm laser focused. That's how I was trained. And so I'm trying all kind of things. And it started out with attacking another qualified black woman who should not have any position that would give her wealth, because she shouldn't have any, because she's black. Miss Kenisha Campbell, who up to recently was a young woman who took charge of the CDF at the office of the Prime Minister, worked tirelessly for the Jamaican people, honestly for the Jamaican people, never made a misstep for the Jamaican people, and earned her promotion to be permanent secretary. But because this come up, the Silvera thing, and film post and put out about Melissa died peacefully in her sleep, start go off on a whole heap of things. And he chose Miss Campbell first. I would like to tell you tonight, Mark Jefferson, you're wrong up. You should not have chosen Miss Campbell. And after you chose Miss Campbell to lay wrath on, unnecessarily, with absolutely no substance, to explain to us why. Why is she not deserving of this promotion? Did she do something as a person in charge of the CDF during that time that irks you and you want to highlight it? Tell us. But no, can't tell us. You just want to go out there and talk about your concerns. I am concerned. And I am concerned. What the hell about? Are you concerned? You shouldn't have done that. Because after you do that, and you send your little crabs them who can't measure up to me, can't, no day of the week can they measure up to me. They will never get what they want from me. A cascas between me and them. That will never happen. Tonight I'm in blue. But I've said it before, I don't play in mud because of white I wear. And light colors like this. Can't play in the mud. You shouldn't have gone after Miss Campbell. She's married. I don't remember last name. I think it's Forrest or Forrester. Forgive me, Miss Campbell. I don't quite remember. But I know he has Miss Campbell. The woman worked her ass off through the CDF. Was an exemplary civil servant. Managing that. And then she got her promotion. And you thinking that she shouldn't get it. So therefore, you are concerned about something that you can't tell us. That you know outlined. We don't know what you're concerned about, but you have concerns. Because she's a black woman. The same way you went after Mrs. Hollis. You have concerns. Kedisha Campbell come from an ordinary Jamaican black family. Went to school, get her education, serve her country. And is now promoted to be permanent secretary in the Ministry of Energy and something. Congratulations, Miss Campbell. But Mark Jolyan have concerns about you, Miss Campbell. And because him now have no sense and him send out the dregs them, let me remind you why him have some concerns about you, Miss Campbell. Him have some concerns about your promotion, Miss Campbell, because him have a black wife. A wife which he was forced to marry because him got her pregnant early. And it wasn't supposed to be a sex marriage thing. It was supposed to be him as backroom have him way with the maid picnic because he is backroom so he can sex her anytime he want. And when she got pregnant, never want to marry her. His father forced him to send them off to Florida to get married. Heavily pregnant at the time. She gave birth to their first child 5 days later after the marriage. And him have her up there, lock up in the house. Years. But never even been married. Him 2 girls and tell people say she's a maid. It's only Benjamin, wonderful Benjamin, lovely, handsome. Benjamin is a good boy. Tell everybody he's a mommy. And Mark never do nothing about it. Because him never supposed to marry her. When him shouldn't marry her and him father shouldn't force him to marry her. Those are the things that irking him, Miss Campbell. He can't come out of that. He can't come out of that. So me why you get the promotion. And if him send them out there, sure. I am right here, ready for him and them. Because every time him go after a black woman in this country, we're going to repeat it for the country to understand that this is a man who have a black wife, who can't drive, who do have her own bank account, do have a car, Have her up there, treat her like a slave. If I was you say, if I was ever uno, me not understand what is it about him. You can't learn. It's like we can't learn. You head tough or something. I mean, you head tough, but you head tough or something. And you can't warn me. Come in now do it at phone level. And every time you come at me, I will be at him and Leighton Epstein. So every time you come at Michelle, every time you come at Natalie, and every time you come at me, we coming at him. Because we're not busy, you know. We're not unimportant. We're not important, nothing. We're not idiot. We could help him. We're going to talk about that too. Because that's a bun, you know. We couldn't help him. You know, we're the ones who were telling him that he must go for a debate. Go attack Mrs. Holness. Wasn't that a big mistake on his part? I want to come back. But I want to learn. I want to say I'm smart people. I'm not a tactician. I'm not smart. I'm not very smart. Basic school, I'm going to be smarter than one. Of course I am. I'm genius compared to you. So I'm outlining how much you have concerns, Miss Campbell. Because you're black. You're a black woman. You know, if you have them position there. And if you're in that one there so you feel stay there so and you know, no why you excel at all. No why you excel. And him forgot. Totally. That we got the goods on him. Lock, stock and barrel. Everything. From front page to back page. Epilogue and then we have it on him. So him can't just come out and come text any step of any black woman that him feel a mind. Him can't. Because as long as I breathe, as him go after a black woman in this country, I am on him. Him never escape. I promise you. Sandra didn't go to the ceremony with him. Sandra wasn't happy about how him exposed her to all of these things. And Sandra know we don't mean to do her. Sandra is not our target. We're not in any wars with Sandra. She's just his wife that he was forced to marry. I don't want to marry her. Why do I have to marry her? Huh? I'm not ready to get married and she wouldn't be my wife. Why have to? What's making a big scene about marrying a woman when breed? And his mother, Lady Jolyan, died. May her soul rest in peace. She was backing him up. And John Jolyan may have been a scoundrel and a liar. He certainly was a liar. But he was worried about his reputation. So he forced him to marry her. And him treat her like crap. The leader of an 80-something-year-old party, political party, founded by the great Norman Washington Manley, of a black wife who he failed to uplift. Think about that for a second. The only white man in a membership of over 40,000 people, and they chose him, who never uplift the one black woman that him breed 3 times, but never want to marry her the first time when that happens. And him want we to listen to him griping all the time and cussing all the time and degrading all the time our own black women. And we mustn't say nothing. Wanna mad? Wanna mad? No, we're not going to shut me up because you can't shut me up. No, enough for things to hold for strategies. That's to how to shut me up. Because one not do not will work. One not do just pissing me off. And that me make you know. So it's up to uno what I do. So I have concerns. The other thing that I thought to myself that could have been a catalyst for the attack on us is also the dirty man Dwayne Vaz. But I thought Manchester was the only parish with dirty man problem, but Westmoreland have dirty man problem too. Them have Leighton Epstein to deal with, and now them have Dirty Vaz to deal with. This predator, this sexual predator, Dwayne Vaz, who them preparing to prop up and destroy the woman whom he has been stalking for years, begging the woman pum pum, and now get it, and him think him entitled to it, and because she not give him it, him a gonna make sure her life is miserable, including telling her boyfriend or husband, I don't know, that she have man with him. Real dirty mama man. The dirtiest kind of mama man. Look at this slimy man do advance. You know, look at him good. I don't even know. I don't know his wife. Now I bring her into this because she have nothing to do with it. But I have a little difficulty believing that if she born and grew up in Westmoreland, how on God's green earth could she marry a man like that? She must have heard some of the things. But women do strange things. They do. I'm telling you, women do strange things. And this dirty man, this sexual predator, this nastiness that has been bombarding this woman, can want shiny looking pum pum. And I think him saying I want a WhatsApp, which all of that been revealed, that him not like to see our pum pum. It must be pretty. When you talk about dirty, I hear you. Cool as soon. We're not making this easier. Believe me, we're not making it easier. Him want to see her pum pum, it must be pretty. Now, what is Mark Golden doing about this? Help me, no? Anybody know what he's doing about this? Because as far as I know, it's nothing. Just allow the man make him go and do him thing. Because maybe him is part of him right hand thing, not the juggling thing, him and the next pedophile. So two of them are him right hand in the juggling. Maybe doing versus him left hand in the juggling while, you know, Leighton is him right hand in the juggling. But no, because him seem to love the dirty, nasty man them around him. And him hug them up. And him protect them. Him don't want to throw this garden under the bus. But no, him a keep the dirty man them. Him comfortable with them man there. Why is that? Because him himself is a dirty man. I mean, it's only a dirty man could have breed a woman and your father for force you to marry to her. And you quarrel about it after you're in the house months after months after months of sex after the woman. And she get pregnant and your father say marry her and you quarrel. So you're a dirty man too. Yeah, you must be a dirty man too. So you hug up Dwayne Vaz. That dirty nastiness. But I tell you no. I'm telling you once, I'm telling you this again. God is a good God, a just God, a great God. But even God has his limits and patience. Even him. And you know it because at the time that God's patience run thin with certain things, that's when him tear it down. Him coming for no. I have no doubt in my mind that he's coming for no. He's going after this woman all out now. Angela Brown Burke have an affinity for dirty man. I don't know Paul Burke as a dirty man. Let me make that clear. He has never been accused of being a dirty man. I've never seen him in a situation that suggests him as a dirty man. Him sneak in the room, but not dirty man kind of thing. But Angela, she like to be around the dirty man because she want to have dirt on them. Always. Fear things a little bit. You know? She want to have dirt on them. And they'll defend the dirty man them to keep them power. They'll defend people like Dwayne Vaz to keep them power. Because he's part of them power base. Doesn't matter to them what he would have done to another woman. No. Patricia Duncan Sutherland, please don't beat up she. Because she have absolutely no sense and nothing to do with anything. Because she went down to Westmoreland, same Westmoreland, and berated George Wright. While she was doing it, next door was our general secretary, the pedophile. And I never hear her berating him, but she was berating George Wright. How about berating this nastiness now? We are saying woman text about dream, and I talk about our pum pum must be pretty. How about him? What are we going to do? Of course nothing. No, keep him. The parliament must the parliament is, you know, that's the thing about the United States Congress, you know. When the law fails, when it has to do with one of their members, and there are loopholes and various ways one can get around laws, or you can get away through the legal channels, them not make a getaway if it's serious enough. George Santos was one of those cases. The next one where they I remember his name was very cocky little young one in a wheelchair, got elected from Georgia. One term. Kind of discovered that he was a man who just mess around with women all the time, and yeah. Then put him out. Our parliament needs to start looking to serious laws about our parliamentarians and their conduct toward women. And not just that specifically, but sexual harassment. I mean, the parliament don't want to take on the work of other agencies and places that deal with that kind of thing. But the parliament must have its own code of ethics and morals that would cause you to look upon him and kick him ass out of the king's parliament. Because if you have an investigator, why does the parliament don't have a set of investigators? Congress have a whole bunch of investigators. The parliament don't have investigators to go talk to Jolyan Chang and find out what one and put the thing together and present it to the parliament and kick him ass out of our parliament. Need to look into having those things, not just giving them opportunity to make him resign as a member and have him as an independent, which I did to George Wright, whose case was not as bad as this. Because George Wright, woman, is really the one who used to beat him up. We don't want to say that during the time because I was still MP, but she used to beat up George. And one time George, the car back to the camera catch him. One time. So there. We're not going to let him sit down there in the parliament and enjoy our money. Have things that concern him. The leader of the opposition has found himself in a deep, insurmountable moral abyss that there is no digging himself out of, because he's planted down there, because he have from time to time or continuously taken the wrong side of a moral issue. How are we going to deal with that? The parliament not going to step up and look at that matter, how to get them out of there. Now, him have all kind of concerns about the new permanent secretary, Miss Kadisha Campbell. The next time, Mark Jefferson, you, the British tourists, watch me carefully. Can I tell you? The next time you choose to go at a black successful woman in this country, up at the King's opposition office, may I come look for you. You could have hide behind curtain till God come. May I come for you. The next time you decide to attack a next black Jamaican woman, the next time, can you help yourself when you do it the next time? And I'm going to be there and watch you. Dwayne Vaz and Dayton Campbell, your right hand and your left hand in the juggling. Dirty men dressed up in pretty clothes. To hide them cheap dirt. And you will cover them and protect them because of your compatriots. I want to say something, moving along. There was a slight disturbance down by the NSWA office down in Spanish Town the other day. And there was a little bit of skirmish about some things. A member of the staff down there died. Mr. Garfield Johnson. He was a sanitation worker down there. Died from an explosion from a garbage collection thing. I don't know, something might have been happening in the garbage that he was collecting and all of that. And he was badly burnt. And he died from his wounds. I want to say to the workers down there that I know the feel. And I understand no quarrel. But the leadership of the solid waste was right there. Very involved with his family, doing wife and children and everybody, and doing their best, not only to comfort them and soothe them, but, make it up in whatever way they can. This is nobody's fault. Just an unfortunate accident. And when these things happen, you can't just run out a road. About you have a black road and quarrel and blame people for things that are not anyone's fault. Could happen to anyone away. So while you're not on a job as sanitation workers, and I love and respect the sanitation workers, my people them that collect my garbage, no matter what happen, when them come, them can't themselves, Browning! Them have to shout me. And I might want to not get up, but I get up to go heal them up. To see what is it that them want. See how I can help. Treat them with respect. My uncle, who was a judge that died a couple of years ago, he used to treat the sanitation workers on Wickham Avenue very, very well. They all mourned when he left. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Garfield Johnson and his family sent out condolences to the family and the workers at Solid Waste in Spanish Town. We get you, we get you know. We don't say what I have to say. We don't quarrel with you, go out with our cat, tell you, call Natalie, call everybody and we saw. But it was nobody's fault. So I hope everybody's all right now and gone back to work and all of that. Before we go to Mr. Trump and FEMA antics, can everybody have a drink? I tell them, everybody have a drink? Huh? What the hell is that? Jamaica must break up them folly ground and what? I don't know, I don't get that. Somebody called Beresford for me now. Craig Beresford. The new, what is he? Executive Director of the PMP-IC. The new Executive Director of the PMP Integrity Commission. And true to form, yeah, I hear you. True to form, I know. True to form, the moment he got that chair, call up Mr. Beresford. And I was sending this to me because we never going to watch it. And I know somebody in there going to send it to him. True to form, the moment he got the position, him run straight to Matalan, go give interview about all kinds of things. Them want more money to compete. The workers them working below what people at their level is working. Come on, Craig. Come on, man. Come on, Sir Beresford. You're not serious. You can't possibly be serious. After what we're doing there, you have the heart to come out here talking about you want more money? Our money? Our government money? You mean the money when Andrew holds control? You want more of that? After owner behaving there? Come on, Beresford, man. What you take over? Idiot? This argument by Craig Beresford, for me, shows up his disdain for the Jamaican people and how we feel about the PMP-IC. It shows his disdain about his own actions that led them to hound the Prime Minister. it shows up how he has absolutely no regard for right and wrong. None. For him to so brazenly come out. Him even take him time behind one door and whisper and ask somebody. Him come out brazenly in a Matalan paper. Because him think Matalan can't help nobody. Nobody. Matalan wants to help himself. At him talk about you want more money, our money, and you want our Prime Minister to give you more money to compete. Here's what I would like to ask of you, Mr. Beresford. I will personally come out here every day if I have to and ask them to give you more money to compete if you do some things for me. Not much. Some little things. First, I want an apology from the PMPIC for including the Prime Minister's parents' name in your report. A written public apology. How about that? For including unnecessarily the Prime Minister's parents' names in your reports. That's the first thing I'm going to ask of you, Mr. Beresford. First thing. Second thing I'm asking of you, Mr. Beresford, is to tell the country in your own words how many bank books the Prime Minister have or had at the time when they're not doing the thing. The thing we want to put forward in the court says 8. More have to hear it from you, Mr. Beresford. More you say it. Write it, say it, put it out there. Say we made a mistake. We were a witch hunt. Show a great Christian that the boss, him is a bulldog, and throw him under the bus, him not go there. Just throw him under there. And say it's him cause it. Because we know it's him and Pantan. But you Beresford did threaten for lack of Portia too. Don't forget. But you never know what you do at the time when you say so. Because Jamaica just come down upon you and just beat you. And stone you. You would know what happened if you never try that. So those two things I am asking you. There's something else I'm asking you. But them two things there. A public apology to the Prime Minister's parents for including unnecessarily including their names, put it on the public record in your witch hunt report. First thing. And then you need to tell us really how many bank books the Prime Minister had when you were doing the report. And in addition to that, an extension of that last one, how many bank books, you could explain to us why when Mark Golden and him right hand and left hand and him two and them in the juggling saying his 28 bank book, the Prime Minister, why you didn't come out and say it's not true? Me Craig? Never never named Craig, you know. I'm a grandson father named Craig. Decent guys. Love them dearly. But you're nothing but a scoundrel. You're a parasite. Craig Beresford. Come on, come tell me. Why when they have a run around talking about the Prime Minister of 28 bamboo, you never caught and say, no, that's not true, it's 8. Why? You want him to take up money, give you? Listen to me. If the finance ministry decide that they want to give the PMPIC more money, I'm going to lose me. I'm telling her that. I lose a lot of other people. Because we must understand how this political organization work, how politics and governance work. And everybody can quarrel and make up nice for Mr. Trump as much as they want, you know. I want to have one. The power of the Prime Minister, of the President of the country, and how you deal with them and how you treat them. Everything that coming out in a Mr. Epstein file, everything from Mr. Trump redacted. That's how that work. Plain and simple. Redacted. Because he's a sitting president. They couldn't bother to them drawers about them put out nothing with Epstein. But once the one them with Epstein and Leighton, I'm sure Leighton in an Epstein file. He must. And maybe doing advance of the Epstein file too. Them not that high and mighty. No, them are low level. Dirty, nasty dogs them. Pigs that wallow in a mud. Boy, you want money. You want more money. We need for this band that version of the IC. Which is a serious conversation that I intend to have. And maybe even make a request to make a presentation to the Parliament as to why this PMP IC law must be scrapped. I'm dead serious. You can't have a group of people being paid a lot of money ask to all our public servants to a high standard, a standard which them not holding themselves because of all of them in the corrupt. And then him have the audacity to talk with him want more money. Somebody fetch Craig Beresford a bottle of acid and let him throw it upon himself. No, take back that. Let him get a cup of hot water and throw it upon himself. I'm out of order to demand that. One of the main reasons why the Parliament, and this is a serious matter, the Parliament must now start to act to take a fresh look at that Integrity Commission setup. And I'm not talking about just the GLP members of Parliament, I'm talking the whole of pardon me, the whole lot of every single one of must start look at that bad IC law written by the British tourists and fix it. Here's the thing that gets me every time. A counsellor, family, children have friends who follow social media. Him fail to file him declarations. And one day, they pick them, open them social media page and see them father picture. Counsellor charged. Nobody not gonna further that, you know. Counsellor charged. They might read the website, you know. But it's when them two words I hit them, counsellor charged. This law, this IC law that is invasive and corrosive and disgusting and tear down people's lives and damage families for simple, small things. This is madness. It's total madness. You can't have people, 9,000, 7,000 people elect a councillor and then one man or some man get up and decide and say, he never filed the paper and put that paper, councillor charged. Do you know how psychologically damaging that is to a child for look on social media see his father and his mother picture? And school pick them and talk about, yeah, them charge your father, where your father do yo? Yo dog, we see your pa, yo dog, we see your father picture on social media, where the dog? Yo, I grab something. Poor Jadwo dog. Poor fella. And him and him friend, they're gonna laugh it off. But deep inside, my friend, I'm gonna love dog. Yeah, dog. I'm not dog, you know. Yeah, man, I'm not that man. My old man. Yeah, man, I'm that dog. Yeah, dog. All right, come on, yeah, dog. Go look something. Come on, spliff the dog. But deep down, the poor fellow is hurting because his father picture them on social media with cleaner headline, saying charged. People think his father a thief. And father do something bad. Listen to me, man. We cannot have our citizens electing men and women to serve them. And because they don't file a piece of paper, you decide you put it on matter on paper, some man charged for not file a piece of paper. We need to revisit that. And we cannot be afraid. And we cannot be timid about it. We have to revisit it. It's a badly written law, written by the British tourist, parading himself as opposition to King Charles III Parliament. We can't continue with this law. It is intrusive and demonic. It is. It's a law that intends to destroy families and lives. And the Prime Minister, good night, Mr. Prime Minister, you alright? Still 1 p.m. I'm going to pick up the 1 p.m. then life. Now I'm doing it. Still 1 p.m. You know? I want them ever try nothing with them and see what happens. But anyway, you cannot have a law that constantly going at our representatives that people elect. And nobody name them, you know. And a committee, not a one man say you go on. A people get out of them bed and walk to a police station, left them hills and left them valleys and cross over them rivers and drive and fly down. They go down and come and go vote for my councillor. And people vote for them. And then uno criminals, unethical people that lacks integrity about the Integrity Commission operating from PNP point of view under the leadership of Peter Burkett and the rest of them. I put in a paper about councillor charged with. Councillor charged. I say every time I see it, my heart sink. Every time I do it, it sinks me. The country now knows that the entire thing and the Prime Minister was a witch hunt. The country now knows that is lie will not tell. It was always a lie. And the country now knows that. But members of Parliament, on both sides, and none of is immune, you know, this thing needs to fix. You know, almost, since you pretend from time to time that you're putting aside the differences and slapping each other on the back and hanging out and drinking together, and get together, the man, and say, all right, gentlemen, we need to change, ladies, we need to change this law, we need to fix it. This can't continue. Because as long as it exists in its current form, we're not letting up. As long as it exists in its current form, we now make them escape it. The whole of them needs to go. Every single one of them. And only in the Parliament and people elect to go into the Parliament, just get together one day and say we're going to revisit this. And some might quarrel because they want to grandstand and pretend that them holier than thou and who are them corrupt. Everybody in their teeth. Everybody in the Parliament is a damn thief. But they try cloud our eye. We know so not thief. But we love them and we're going to elect them. And if them run out the whole out, we just elect some more thief. That's how it works. But we can't sit down in there and make them money around them kind of rings around, you know. And I put out them kind of things about, you know. And nobody will elect them. Can you imagine that? Nobody will elect them. And them have the power to send them to pick them, go spiral into some kind of depression because the man meet me and say, yo, dog, we see your father picture on Instagram, you know. Yo, dog, I want to go down the dog. Destroying families and lives. The wives, the girlfriends and the wives' friends. These are public servants who the people elected, who never robbed nothing, never beat up the body, never thief nothing, they must file something, and you put about councillor charged. What wrong with them? What kind of country we're running? Well, Mr. Owen is trying to bring this country forward, you know, into I feel it. I feel Jamaica rising. Every day I feel Jamaica rising. Better and better. But still, there are things that we need to fix. The IC law is one of them. Which brings me to the FID thing. Now we understand from credible sources, Cliff would say, credible sources said that the FID has found nothing, as we knew that they would find nothing that could have warranted how they hunted the Prime Minister. And they have written to Mr. Beresford. Did you get that? I could talk about that. You talk about people money. Look on YouTube. Money. I could talk about that. You get the letter from FID? Did you get that letter from FID to say that them not find nothing? You not talk about that. You know, go Matalan people go talk about that. We like you going to Matalan people go talk about that. And say you get the letter and them say there's nothing, so now we have to know. Drop it and the Prime Minister's declarations will now be certified and this witch hunt will now come to an end. How about that? I will give you the money. How about that? I will argue. Well, I can't get the money, but I will argue for the money for you. If you know that. Anyway, all jokes aside, when I look at how I told you, you know, the minute Trump became president again, everything, every legal issues disappear. It's like, well, there's a simple logic for that, you know. The Americans have a very simple logic. It's not that him didn't commit a crime. It's not that them don't have evidence to suggest that him tried to commit a crime or that. The greater good, the bigger argument is that he's the president of the United States and he must be allowed to do his job without interference from people who nobody no elect. The Prime Minister of the country was elected by the people, and for 2 years plus 3-4 years, everybody had tried to make sure him get to do his job properly by accusing him and running him down and hunting him down for lock him up and saying all kind of things about him without any consideration to his children or his family and how them feel about it. Like him now, flesh and blood like the rest of him, not an ordinary man. Him is the Prime Minister of the land. And you have information to suggest that he did nothing wrong and a hold on upon it. Trust me, man. You need to change those laws today for me, tomorrow for you. May I talk to parliamentarians? Them don't need nothing. Right now, them is a PMPIC. For the next 5-6 years, they will remain PMPIC unless we change it. Not to change it into, turn it into not JLPIC. Just let's get an IC with people we can trust. That when them come out and them say, so and so and so, we say, yeah, all right. Because when them come out and say so and so and so, them all say, that is so because this is so. And this is so because that did back that up. Them they go come up and make conjectures and create confusion in our head about, what is right and what is wrong. And the parents are teaching them nothing good. Every commissioner, everybody that I see was targeted to be there by Peter Bunting and Omar Davis to create that against Andrew Holness. So now, Mr. Dennis Strong, that is his name, I think, if you write to the IC to tell them that you have found zero evidence of this witch hunt that they spend millions and millions of my money, our money, and you do your investigation and you write to them and tell them that you have found nothing, We now wait upon them for because them not gonna come out, so it's you now, sir. Them don't come out, you have to come out. We give the work and them fight bad for the work. They never want you to get the work because they know you fear and balance. They never want you to get the work. They know you. They know you know your private life on television, writing the paper, whatever it is that you do, that you're not a prisoner, you're afraid of the body, and you're going to be fear. Why is it that you not saying it? You know, if you write to them and you say to them that, you know, I look at this thing and there is nothing. Why don't you tell us yourself? Why are you waiting on them? Because all I want to send to fear down a shadow and keep going on and trying to back up things and put up things. Just in case. Just in case what? You get a work. You got a job. Do your job. Whatever you find, say it. Let the chips fall where they may. Let the accusations come. Let the excitement come. Oh, we love excitement. You know that. But if you find that there's nothing, that they have pretty much held the Prime Minister hostage for years with this thing hanging over his head, trying to prevent him from delivering for the people who voted for him. And now that you have the information, why is it, sir, that you're afraid to tell us what that decision is based on what you look into and what you saw? Yeah? That must be the case, Mr. Trump. So you have to release whatever it is you put out there. You don't need them to release it. You get to work, do your work. Everybody have to stop being such a damn coward. You stop being such cowards, man. Nobody listen to me, man. Them releasing the Epstein files. According to most people, Mr. Trump is mentioned in those files maybe about 7,000 times. But we'll never see it. Ever. As long as he's president, yes. We might see a couple of years after him work, but never. Not even Mr. Biden was going to release it. It's just now them wanted to do it. But you'll never see his name. It is redacted. Which brings me to the same thing when them come out with last week about WikiLeaks. Now let me tell you something about WikiLeaks. Well, not really about WikiLeaks, but surrounding that. That we'll never understand in a million years. At the time when WikiLeaks came out, within 20 minutes or less of that dump by Julian Assange, the United States security agencies then had a whole grasp on it. By the time some things are made public, what we not see is inconsequential. There was nothing that could rock any boat that came out of WikiLeaks. And that's what I'm talking about. You should see the rest of it, but you will never see the rest of it. That make you an idiot. And if you never go 20, 25 years into something that happened 20, 25 years to come quarreling at 2026, then it's sad. Very, very sad people. Who would never see the real things. Do you know if you need some real things, I probably want to string me up. But who would never see those, ever. Some idea. Nonsense. That was just a side week. I'm coming back to them, you know. Don't listen. I'm coming back to them. Not addressing them by name because they're not worth it. They are non-entities. Them not have no value to me. Them can't argue with me. I will never argue with them. Them beneath me. Every time. Because you see, they grow good. Very, very good. They grow good. But Mr. Dennis Strong, the Prime Minister have said it. And we're backing him up. That we don't need to get this thing out. Get it out, man. We want to see where you found. Put the country at rest. We can't consistently fucking holding the Prime Minister of the country to ransom. What's wrong with it? Forgive me. Somebody come from my YouTube channel, come ask me one time, why the whole pack curse words? I'm not a woman that use a whoop a curse word, so I don't know what you're talking about. But if I do it 1 or 2 times, it offend you, then you don't come on, don't watch. Can't do nothing else about that. I can't say that. I like that you come on like you want. But if it offend you, don't watch. Don't watch. It's the only way out. And you can't be holding this big stick over the head of the Prime Minister of the country. You can't be doing it. And people vote for him. 400 and how much thousand now we voted for him. This is what I'm telling you, man. You can't do that, man. And if it don't come out soon, I'm going to start rage about it. I don't know how yet, but there certainly will be a rage about it. Now, there are a whole heap of little things that I would very much like to talk about, but we're going to leave a couple of them, but just 2 or 3 more things. The church and the money that the Prime Minister gave them for cleanup. A noble gesture by the Prime Minister. Not only noble, but right. It's a right thing to do because many churches sheltered people during that Melissa thing. So it was rightly so. And then the church had the audacity to say that they should get more. And as a God-fearing woman, I'm telling you this. I'm saying this to the church. And I must look at no damn head. Get more money? Our money to do what? We're losing the battle of people's soul for Jesus. We're losing that big time. We're losing that because most of us selling the soul to the political party of the People's National Party with risers. Jamaica Council of Churches just elected a new president and all of that. I can't feel when down in Westmoreland. I soon start up on the road, you know. I up on the road soon. I haven't been that section yet, but I'm going soon. We can't take where money go now. We're losing the battle. The churches are losing membership. We're losing interest. Watch night. New Year's Eve night. I did something I've not done for 20-something years. Normally New Year's Eve night, me a jam with a buckle of something, you know. 1 or 2 people were whole of vibes. But this year, Princess tricked me into promising that I'm going to go to watch night service over my church. It's Princess tricked me. And we decided we're going. So we went. Me, Princess, a whole the community people came. My daughter, son-in-law, we all went to church and we sat in the pew. And we sing loud. Nobody has sing louder than we. And we praise God. It's an Anglican church. Our priest, Father Mort, is a good priest. I like Father very much. I don't think he's making much headway in terms of winning souls for the church. And his sermon that night was very disheartening to me. It was a sermon that you could say preaching to the choir. I'm talking to the people who are already in the church, the people who going to church, the people who embrace the doctrine of the church. Nothing to reach the people who just walk in and sat there that night. Nobody going over there could talk to them and inviting them to church. I was disappointed, gravely disappointed. And then when I asked the church warden for many moons, Colin Campbell, about that, his answer is usual, quintessential Colin Campbell. Don't have nothing profound to say, so him say something stupid. Well, you know, it's Anglican church and we have our functions and our rituals and that what we got to. I couldn't do nothing but just look him up and down and leave him alone because I was in the church. I couldn't do not look him up and down, leave him alone. I would go over the shop, go over the shop, we'll go drink the bottle of wine and give God thanks. The church is failing the country. I wouldn't so much say the Seventh-day Adventist Church is probably the most active church in our country now. And somebody nice making church and we up and nice making. Not beating up about the church, not quarreling with the church, not at all. But as an Anglican, that's what we refer to as nice making church. And on now gathering souls, Christ. I'm sure God is disappointed in the whole of you. But out here run down money. But don't want money for do what? To go buy a car and take trip. I want to not buy no clothes because I look wishy-washy when I got church still. I mean, now take what I talk. I talk about those who me see. So I don't understand. What do I want money to do? We not quarrel with the country for good money to do. We're not giving them no money. We want to collect the people their money. We want to do it. The collection plate. The church them look run down. You know, when Father Garden was over by St. Mary's Church, you have some kids whose parents, some them fathers died through various wars. And father used to just walk around them long bad color white frock. And Karen, do you know this person? Oh yes, Father, I know this person. Walk with me to that person. I mean, Father walk, find the person, pray with the mother and the father, the mother, sprinkle a little holy water, leave a little envelope, anoint the children's head, and walk come the next Sunday for them. When Father have confirmation for people in the community, he might arrange the transportation and take him care some people. This priest easy like Sunday morning, him not doing that. But there are no souls of Christ. There are some churches that used to come keep open air meetings in the community. We haven't seen any of them for the longest while. The longest while. There's a church that have the Bible in patois. Them pass through regular, love talking to them. Entertain conversation and listen to them. When they invite me to church, I do it online. Because I not where I go, but I join them online because I promised that I would. And sing with them and praise with them. True. But what do you want money for do? We're not doing nothing. We're not helping communities like churches used to do. You don't understand? When me pick the church, we used to give a whole broke. We used to have whole brand new frock and whole brand new shoes. All brand new shoes. Whole heap. When you see Father come out the church, people are come with bag. I mean, what would I do? Nothing. But not quarrel with government for money. And everything you know what we know their mouth. We never say about, we have some opinion on something. We don't always have opinion on things. But you're not involved in things to change anything, you don't just have an opinion. But we're not agents of change as we should be. As Jesus taught to be angels of change. We're not doing that. But we want to be involved in everything. As soon as something happens, we have a statement to make. Nobody that listen to it. No matter that I put that out. Sometimes nationwide news and the slow news days put out something that you say. Nobody listen to you. No pastors and preachers and priests. Nobody that listen to you. We totally lost the game. So don't come out here coming in an argument with us about no money for anything. Because we're not take a chat from you. Murder for this month, for the month of January was what, 31, 32, 33, basically one a day. Help me big up Jamaica, the land of wood and water. I want to big up Jamaica. Big up Jamaica and give a big up to Mr. Horace Chanto as well. Big up to the Prime Minister. Yeah, Jamaica. Just big up Jamaica, man. Don't big up Jamaica, now, please. Don't stop on excitement and big up Jamaica. Come on for the foolishness and big up Jamaica. But, no matter how much murder goes down, Matalan have worries with it. Him try to find ways and means to print it, to make it look like it is not so. Or even though it is so, it is still bad. Yeah, man, big up Jamaica. Run the Jamaican flag on the live. Matalan can't celebrate Jamaica with us. What if we leave here, you know? Seriously, you don't leave your man. You don't leave. Him can't celebrate anything that is good with us. Because the truth of the matter is, the upper crust of this society don't want crime to be down. It doesn't affect them. They want it to be up, because when it is up, it's not them it hurting, you know. When it is up and we get killed and our children get hurt, our community locked down and under siege, not them. But they want something to talk about and to posture about and to attack the government and to go get something from the government by threatening the government about crime. We grew up, Mr. Madeline. We grew all the way up. It's not the Gleaner, it's not the Star, it's not the Observer, it's not JBC, it's not RJR, social media. We grew up, Mr. Madeline. We know what we see. We understand it a little bit. Maybe not big like you, but we do. We understand it from the simple level that one fool dead up there, sir, and me now want him dead because he was not a nice person. And I'm up there with candlelighting and music. Other people down the road there, sir, with music. The children, them, well, most of them probably up there, sir, the music. But they walk around the community all hours a night. Nobody now draw them away, nobody now rape them, nobody now hurt them. How it's about us, it's not about you, Matalan. We don't give a damn about you. You live in a gated community. We don't have 7,000 police that guarding 400 now. We don't have nobody. So when crime is down, it's we celebrating that. It is us that is celebrating. And when you see crime go down and them come out with them excitement, you must rush them. Everybody must rush them. Everyone that live in a inner city community that have experienced crime after crime after crime and now enjoying peace and not afraid of the people them coming in late who are going to university and who are going late classes and classes until 9 o'clock, who are not afraid. Anytime you see them come out with it, you must push right back at them. Don't let them get away with it. It's not about them. It is about us. I will never ever forget the wars in this constituency, particularly up this area. We and them over there, so. Man, they from the house stop at night time, a fire shut off, and then they over there, so. Them over there, so fire shut off from the house stop. Me can't drive round, so can them think say me a lead man over here, so. Me can't, me a drive out a road, me have to watch myself because them think I'm me a lead man down here, so. It created a thing where people just couldn't live well because of the word of violence. And all over put a mouth about the police doing this and the police. You have to let the damn police do their work. That's why they are police. And them for do their work. Pump to the. It's like it burn them when the police kill a criminal. Or burn them when crime go down. Why? Because who don't wait about who don't live here? Who don't know what we went through? Who don't know what some people still going through? Me, we have the crime, but I mean, you can't stay up on a pedestal looking down on us and chatting some crap about police killings. What's wrong with you? Who hear a call about police killings? When was the last time you see a community come out making noise and quarrel a police killer man who shouldn't be dead? When? When was the last time you see a group of women and other people? Well, we never do that in Jerusalem. We don't do them things in Jerusalem. Never ever did them things in Jerusalem. But when was the last time you see that, Matalan? Matalan, you need to go in and don't come back out. You know the pavilion? Ask PJ for letting you space in the film pavilion. And stay near, man. Stay near and don't come back. Because we don't want you out here trying to unnerve us about these things. The 2025 general elections was a well-orchestrated strategy led by Andrew Olis and Horace Chang. Strategy. Now, Mark Golding have some dregs when he tell him, say, them can make him be Prime Minister. And them good because them are tacticians and strategists. Only to discover they're neither tacticians nor strategists. So tonight, I would like to give them a lesson about how strategies work and tacticians or tactics work. In a political campaign, there are those who carve out the strategy. In this campaign, God, that was Mr. Olness, Mr. Chang, and them little crew. That crew can't be big. It has to be a little crew. Because in carving out a strategy, you can't have upper people in it. Too much people have too much ideas. Most of the people who don't really know where going. So you leave it to the few people who know where going. So Mr. Chang, Mr. Olness and them crew carve out them strategy. The JLP MPs, constituency leadership, them follow the strategy to a T. Strategy. A strategy is when you put together a simple 1, 2, 3 plan. Because a strategy is that never add up to 10 things. If it pass 10 things, you're dead. It's 1, 2, 3. That's a strategy. 1, 2, 3. And once the strategy is known and put on the table and explained and disbursed to the soldiers to carry it forward, how you carry out that strategy becomes a constant change. Not the strategy, you know. It's the how. It's the methodology of carrying out the strategy. So the strategy always remains. But every day, there is a new thing, and you have to shape the strategy to adapt to that new thing. Una listen, fools? Una listen? Una idiots? Listen. Una couldn't get a strategy for the British tourists. Couldn't. Una couldn't even strategize 2 words. Time, come. Una couldn't even find a strategy around that. Time, come. The only thing we could find is the jingle of it. Time come, time come, time come. And everybody, yeah man, time come. We couldn't even get that. 2 simple words. And we couldn't get it. And put a strategy. They never have a strategy. They never had a strategy. Big Del shoot them down and tell them, so they don't have no strategy. But then put out 2 words as the driving force of whatever strategy they did not have. And Uno, who are quarrel with we, couldn't even use those 2 words to find out what the strategy is and help them. Uno couldn't. Mr. Olness and Mr. Chang never need to tell me what them strategy is. They never need to tell Michelle. They never need to tell Natalie. They never need to tell any of the social media persons out here that were not associated with the JLP. The JLP bloggers knew what their strategy was, and they pummeled it like good soldiers. They never let up. Every day of the week, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They were pretty good at it. We came into all of that. We saw the strategy. And we decided that this is how we're going to fit what we're saying into that strategy, because that is how it works. You look at the strategy, I don't tell you what it is. Saw it from afar. I will fit whenever I come on to speak. It's basically repetitions, you know. But you can never tell. Sometimes you believe it's new things I'm talking, but it's a repetition. You find the strategy, you tailor the words, you tailor the argument, you mix it up and repeat. When I idiot you can't quarrel with me, we're boss to Uno. We're bigger boss to Uno. Uno couldn't even find us. Use 2 words and do something with it. Nothing Uno couldn't do with it. Uno all over the place. chatting all kind of crap. And then, I don't know what the JLP's words or thoughts or strategy was when they do the time come song, the marching song. But I was simple in my conversations with anybody who was listening. If we don't take that song later or overrun, we don't take the song. Simple argument. So we take the song. That's all. We're not talking about tactician. Tactician may ask, my dog could have done a better job than Uno. And then Uno feel and I quarrel with we because we did not fail. Uno feel and I quarrel with we that we succeeded. Mr. Only succeeded and we did our little part to help him. Seriously. And that's what I quarrel about. So things so can come at us with the lies. The same set of lies when they tell from Mr. Olis and Mrs. Olis, when they come to repeat them on us, when they can't shape me. You should know better than that. You know, can't shape me. Can't. Because the first thing is, you know, soon, I have no answer to you about not knowing enough to say. Except this. This is the answer. You're not idiot. One is no tacticians nor strategists. One failed miserably. One, one could never know what to do with the time come. 2 words, one never know what to do with that. 2, for every argument against one leader, one had no damn answer. No answer. Because everything that we put forward about him is God's living truth. One can't be truth unless one have some alternative truth. We should never even have. Come on. Please. You believe, and I believe, that the IC was going to be successful against Mr. Holness with we out here? You know mad? You never watch it in good. They are mad. Mr. Holness a carry out him strategy. He might go on the country by doing thing. Huh? And you know why I'm going to do that? Because I know we have him back. You never have full leader back. You never know him back there. I mean, you never know him back there. We are talking about him and his wife and then breed the woman and never want to marry her and have the woman up there and turn her into a slave and she broke with another bank account and she depend on him business as a director but not as a shareholder. We have all of that. We have nothing, had nothing at all to counter that. How that ball now? Nothing to counter that. How that ball? Only thing I was going to allow Paul Buchanan to come run round in Mr. Holness constituency and go like him a bad man and do a settling business for him. Where it come from? You don't know how long me I do this thing? You not idiot or something? I not ball, not a quarrel with we? You couldn't catch Mr. Holness, you know? You couldn't catch him. That the strategy is way well past Uno. By the time he realized what his strategy was, I just smiled to myself and said to them girls, this is what we have to do now. This is what we have to do to back up the Prime Minister. That's all. Him have him strategy, him have Mr. Chang, the JLP, blackers them, have them responsibility. They will carry through like masters. They were like Zen masters. And Uno looks stupid. Not stupid, stupid. And Uno quarrel because Uno couldn't find a strategy. Everybody want a strategy, so them couldn't go to one, and even if they had one, Uno wouldn't be able to see it. And if they explained it to Uno, Uno still wouldn't get it. Because Uno couldn't take 2 words and do not know with it. Time come. Time, that is time. Use that 1 word and find something. Come, use that other word and find. Uno couldn't find nothing. I want to talk about Uno a strategist. Chat to strategist. No idiot. Nonsense. Can't bother with Uno. I don't know how this thing works. But, just for reference. Just for reference. Them say all politics is local. The man that coined that saying was Tip O'Neill. He was the Speaker of the House for a very long time in the United States. He ran his first at age 24, Tip O'Neill, think in California. At the time when he was running, there was no social media. People did billboards and placards and they look print little papers and all the place. That's what he was doing. And when he lost that election, he stood at his campaign podium and he said, I lost this race because I just now realized that all politics are local. But here's the thing with that now, that was then. All politics still local, but all politics also regional and international and very, 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 very local. Not about strategy. There were days when we on the campaign trail were heading out to Manchester. Stop at the gas station, get some gas, talking to two young ladies. So, when the voting, I'm never voting, I'm never voting because nobody help me for that. So help you do what? What do you want people to help you do? Nobody ever try to give me nothing yet and rare. Buy the gas, give her a tip and drive out and say, remember to choose Jamaica. That's one vote. Now I have no doubt in my mind. We're driving through the toll, same thing. Everywhere we go, you find a new voter. You hold a conversation and get them to go choose Jamaica. All over the place, JLP operatives were doing that. All over the place, the JLP operatives were doing that. One by one. We're not out one by one, them going to jail. We were doing one by one, them going to the pool. While Uno over there doing all kind of crap. And now quarreling and bawling like children. That Uno lost. Because Uno couldn't manage it. Oh, not strategist. Tactician. One of these days when I have the time, I'm going to write down an entire thing about strategizing for an election. Because you don't get it. I must always understand it to a T. That yes, people vote with emotions, but yes, people also vote intellectually. It's not just emotions anymore because there are no permanent PNP anymore. Still permanent JLP, but you don't have the permanent PNP anymore. Me not ask you that, you know. Me I tell you no. So there are no more permanent PNP. None. There are people throughout this whole community. I never had to tell them to go choose Jamaica. They just did. They just did. You know what that is? You ready? 1, 2, 3, strategy. Learn. Stop running them out. Or keep running up on them out. Talk all you want. I will not have any more discussion with them about this. That was it. I think that's enough to kill you now. But continue if you don't want. But we get it now why we don't felt we don't had to come out. Let us close off with this. Take it down a notch. All of us, every single one of us, always look forward to a new year and pray for things and want things and hope that things will be good for you and say to yourself, this year is my year. And people make grand declarations about what their lives is going to be like for this year. And by the third month, those grand declarations gone. And I discover why. One reason why I like to stay silent. I'm going to tell you about what my grand declaration is for 2026. My grand declaration is gratitude. Plain and simple. Gratitude. The thing about gratitude is that it teaches us humility. And if we learn humility through gratitude, then we learn to give thanks more often. And we will seek God more often. You can't seek God, however, in noise. And so this year, and I've always been, I have my quiet time when I don't say anything. I'm not on social media, not doing anything. It has been quiet. And why is that? It's listen. Listen to the voice of God. Listen to the reason of God. Listen to what God is planning. Listen to what God is saying. Instead of making noise, asking and rushing and planning, just listen. Because if you're not quiet and silent to listen to God, then all you are going to hear is your own self, your own voice, talking about what you want and you answering yourself. Because you're not taking the time out to listen to the voice of God, to be quiet, to take away yourself and listen to God. Listen when you pray. Listen when you give thanks. Gratitude is one of the best forms of worshiping God. And nobody taught us better about gratitude than Jesus did. In the Bible, Jesus in his whole life, for everything, everybody like to quote, in everything give thanks. But do we? Do we really? In everything give thanks. Do we? In everything give thanks. Thank you, dear God, for this water. Thank you, Lord, I made it through this day. Yes, it must have been you. Couldn't be me. There's nothing I could do to make that happen. Gratitude, faith, gives hope. It's a form of worship. Jesus, when he was going to heal a sick, cause a blind to see, raise Lazarus from the dead, every time before he does that, he gives thanks. He gave thanks. In the Garden of Gethsemane, even though he prayed and asked his father to spare him, to tell him, Father, that he don't want to do it. And when he acknowledged to himself that why am I going to do it, he gave thanks. Feeding the thousands and multitude of people with a few fishes and the bread, he raised it and he gave thanks. Pretty much everything Jesus did before going to his Father in prayer, he first offered thanks. Let this year be a year of gratitude. Jamaica has much to be grateful for. Much, much, much. And when we pray and we show gratitude, gratitude is also helping. Because you have two and you want to share one with somebody. And my man always say, you can't give away the things them we don't want. That is not giving. I swear to God, that woman just really living in my head. She say, you can't give away the things we don't want. Where you go with that, Tootsie? I'm going to give it to the little girl on the road. You just see sitting here. You can't give people things when you don't want. Don't give away things that you want. Give the things that you yourself want and you yourself need. And be grateful. Every day. Every time. For every single thing. So this year, for me, is a year of gratitude. Forever and always. I trust and I hope and I pray through gratitude that this will also be a year of gratitude for you as well. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I trust you had a good time. And please remember to share the live and like it. Put in a pithy comment. And pray for our Prime Minister. Pray for our ministers of government. Pray for the opposition too. It's a part of the whole makeup of this country. Pray for the people that got destroyed in Melissa. And let us let this be a year of gratitude. Every time, every day, in every way. Thank you. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody, please. and let's keep our children safe. All right? See you next time.